Well, I guess it's luxury time. Look out there. Look how beautiful that is. So the luxury today is granos de café cubierto con chocolate. Chocolate covered beans. They came from La Surtidora in Pátzcuaro. They were a gift that somebody stayed here a long time handed me, and that was nice of them. I'm going to try these out right now. Would you like to join me? Now, La Surtidora is a store. That's terrible lighting, isn't it? A terrible set in general right here. So anyway, I don't need a lot of chocolate. I have had chocolate covered coffee beans before, and I even had a caffeine party. We had a lot of caffeine at a caffeine party. It took place, I think, on Sunday morning. I might have done one in the evening too. I don't know. It's a sort of idea that reoccurs to me. If people like to get together and get intoxicated, why not try, go a little crazy with the caffeine. I've looked up the health effects on that, and chocolate certainly is awesome. These are good. I just ate two of them. Oh, that's good. And have a little right across the lake. That's real nice. Surtidora on the Plaza Grande. They also got good coffee. I'm not sure what the best coffee deals are. I buy cheap ass coffee. It could be that I can find a source of quality coffee cheaper. I don't know. We'll see. Well, that was fun to try. Thanks for joining me in trying it. And I'm happy to have a little treat. I'm pretty anti-hedonistic, but you got to have a few good things in life. And I'm pretty sure coffee and chocolate aren't even bad for you. Wow. I just said some stuff that I thought was interesting enough to share about a variety of topics, and then I looked down and the camera was off. So the reason I do these this way is because basically you're just my buddy. Just you, the camera. The little people in the camera. That's you. You're a person in the camera. I don't know how you fit all those people in there. Must be a lot of space in that tiny object. But I want it to be as if you're here, just walking around with me. And I'll take care of your part of the conversation. I know the interesting shit I have to think or say anyway, and so I'll just prompt myself to talk about that. But I am thinking of many individuals when I make these movies, actually, these little these videos or whatever, that it is an odd style because it's long format. I think you have to be in a certain mood to watch something that long. But the other thing is, if we index it right, then we can have in the description little time markers and the description of that section, and then people can just directly link from other places too to the exact content that they wish to share. So in other words, I upload one big long video, which is actually easier for me in the long term, and then we sort of index it later and link it in from places, and it works out. Because this is also the easiest way for me to upload these things, and that's this last video right now that is uploading is 17 gigabytes. It's 2.5 hours of me walking around and at various points of my day talking, and it's sometimes talking at length for like over an hour at a time, just like here. And so what I'm wondering is that maybe this is actually a viable format. Maybe it's actually a legitimate way to upload content. There is a massive fire down there. That's a great experiment. It's too far for me to walk still. Can't do it. All right, so I'm just pacing around. I'm supposed to get somewhere, probably. I'd like to get somewhere. Wow. I just said some stuff that I thought was interesting enough to share about a variety of topics, and then I looked down and the camera was off. So the reason I do these this way is because basically you're just my buddy. Just you, the camera, the little people in the camera. That's you. You're a person in a camera. I don't know how you fit all those people in there. Must be a lot of space in that tiny object. But I want it to be as if you're here, just walking around with me, and I'll take care of your part of the conversation. I know the interesting shit I have to think or say anyway, and so I'll just prompt myself to talk about that. But I am thinking of many individuals when I make these movies, actually, these little these videos or whatever, that it is an odd style because it's long format. I think you have to be in a certain mood to watch something that long. But the other thing is, if we index it right, then we can have in the description little time markers and the description of that section, and then people can just directly link from other places too to the exact content that they wish to share. So in other words, I upload one big long video, which is actually easier for me in the long term, and then we sort of index it later and link it in from places, and it works out. Because this is also the easiest way for me to upload these things, and that's you know, this last video right now that is uploading is 17 gigabytes. It's 2.5 hours of me walking around and at various points in my day talking, and it's sometimes talking at length for like over an hour at a time, just like here. And so what I'm wondering is that maybe this is actually a viable format. Maybe it's actually a legitimate way to upload content. There is a massive fire down there. But, my God, look at that. Huge cloud. This is just down from Oranga, right in front of Oranga. There's got to be photos of this on Facebook, probably. That's just such a nice fire right in close. Now, one question is that fire a problem? That fire is not actually a problem necessarily. It's being burned on fields for local agriculture. I don't know what percentage of the fields gets burned each year. I would tend to think it's not a good idea to burn it every year, but I don't know. They may know more than I do. I don't do things much that way. I've had controlled burns here. Well, actually, I've never had a controlled burn. I've had, well, that's not true. I've had forest fires. Those suck, although they're really interesting. But I would really like not to have any interesting right now. I'm not in the mood. And then I guess we have had prescribed burns, as they call them, I guess, in the sense that we've had burn piles. So we've had tiny little gardens that we've been able to then plant because we know that that place just had fire activity and that will, you know, kick up some kind of nutrients or something. I don't even have to care why. So those will produce it slightly better for a few years, but also there's not really that much burned matter in there. So it's just one data point. We do want to do larger prescribed burns here. You burn an area so that there's less fire risk. You burn an area so that you can plant other plants there, but understand that if you do that, you may not be able to do a controlled burn there later, right? Only certain types of use of land can have controlled burns on a regular basis. And so long term, I'm not a huge fan. It really depends on your situation. Obviously, forestry situations like this, yeah, I need to do some major fire breaks, and I have a whole area that's never been planted, or well, not with anything that lived. It's a far out place, and if I got some friends over here, we could do a controlled burn. Everybody could just bring a shovel. I should buy some beers ahead of time, and we start the fire in a controlled way. You know, we're a smart group of guys, actually, so we talk about it and listen to a few people's ideas. It's very democratic of me, isn't it? That's because these guys know a shit ton more about things like that than I do. I mean, I've been in some fires, but some of these guys have been in, like, you know, every year fires. So they know more than I do. Anyway, but we could burn up that hillside. The trees would be fine. I know exactly how things burn here, and I know exactly how that one would go. and we do it in small sections to control it. And then after we completed the job of putting this land into a new and different state, since whenever it last had a forest fire, part of it did have a forest fire actually, I forgot about that. Wow, they recover really fast. Actually, I need to check out that spot and see if there's any noticeable difference between the plant life in the burn spot and the non-burn spot, because there's places that are identical to each other, right next to each other. And in fact, will I be able to tell where the fire line is? That's a great experiment. It's too far for me to walk still. Can't do it. All right, so I'm just pacing around. I'm supposed to get somewhere, probably. I'd like to get somewhere. So yeah, really think about the whole idea of Bosque Village as genre, as a way of filming things, a style. And you come up with your own style, but I think my little video clips, my ideas, some of them are really good. And that I think that you should consider them, have some trust and faith that I may have a good idea, and try it out. I think this is a very intimate way of blogging that I do. Because, you know, I'm very shy about who I have near me. Very much so. I get people wanting to come here all the time. Most of them don't have an offer I want, in whatever way. So, yeah. So I'm going to get down to the lodge. This is continuing the saga of yesterday, where I went down, forgot my keys. No. Yeah, went down, didn't have a right key. Went down, the right key didn't work. Oh shit, I almost went. God damn it. If I go down there, I still won't be able to get in. I've failed twice yesterday. So I'm going to get a different key to a different door. And I own way too many keys for a person who theoretically has a simple life. It's nothing simple about it. What the fuck is simple about this shit? Mouse ran across right next to my bed last night. I gotta kill mice somehow. But at least I like where I live, even if it's not a simple life. Okay. So my goal, which I failed yesterday, is get to the lodge and then get inside the lodge. I forgot that was part of the goal. But it's very important to get inside the lodge. There's rotting food down there, so I should wonder about that, since something will occur. I do have a terrarium down there that I toss rotting food into sometimes. Its primary purpose is to see what happens and gross women out. Some of them don't find that very aesthetically pleasing, but I find it's educational spot for me. And it's fun to watch like a banana peel rot. I did stick a mouse in there once. It was dead, and it rotted, of course. Anyway, I'm basically going to try and recapture the lodge. That's my goal, which is pretty ambitious for after my second night here. I did get enough sleep due to sleeping pill. Oh well. But I feel great. The place looks beautiful. This is the from now, and it gets worse, but from now until June, really into basically till July, it will be very dry here, and it will be very brown. Now, as soon as the rains come, it's actually really exciting when the rains come to watch the forest wake up. It's really just something to witness. And now it's very slow, so I'm talking about over a weeks-long period, watching a place go from very, very thirsty, with all plants in survival mode. Everything's in survival mode. There's no water, almost. And to watch that go into just this multiple types of flourishings of life, coming up in anticipation of the rain, coming up with the first rains, flourishing more with the rains. It's just, the forest becomes a very different place. The mushrooms come later. They take a long time. Late rainy season is mushroom season. August. Best time to hunt mushrooms around here. And there's plenty to get. So it's a great time to pick out a mushroom if you like them. Probably easiest is Amanita caesarea, which is in a dangerous family of mushrooms, but it's really pretty. The lookalike that is really poisonous is not here, so it's fine. And people like them. They sell them in the market and stuff. It's very popular. Another one's the trompa, which is a red one. It's called lobster mushroom. And it's actually a fungus that's growing on another mushroom. And in this case, it's a Ricilla something. It's a edible, but totally not interesting large mushroom, right? It's a very big mushroom. And so what happens is this red fungus attacks the young mushroom, causing it to be deformed and red. And it gives it a very meaty, thick nature to it, because essentially the fungus has killed off this younger mushroom before it got really big and less dense, because it get really big, the Ricillas. So that's actually something we want to encourage here. Now, the interesting thing is we don't want to infect, I don't think, this is a guess I'm making, we don't want to infect all of the Ricilla with hypermeses, which is the red one, I believe it is, because if we kill off all the Ricillas, they have nothing to feed on. We need a balance. We need very healthy places where there's lots of Ricilla, and never let the other one take over too much. That's so we have more Ricillas. We're actually protecting the source material for the hypermesia red fungus mushroom. So we have to think about this balance very carefully, because as we're changing things around here, luckily we're only changing very small areas, but I want to immediately infect those with mushrooms. Now in the case of the lobster mushroom, I think it takes care of itself, because people tend to harvest lobster mushrooms and not others. Some of them might be rotten or in a weird spot, or you can see most of them. Geez, it's a big forest. I mean, we only see the ones in places where we walk around. So most people don't go off just like hunting everywhere, especially not now that I have undergrowth. It used to be easy to walk everywhere. Now it isn't. And believe it or not, that's a really good thing. So yeah, what can I do to increase and improve the mycelial network in some land? Disturbing anything, of course, is questionable, but actually, that's not always true. There's a clitocybe mushroom here that's a little orange one. Doesn't quite look like a chanterelle, but it's, has a few attributes similar. And it grows on disturbed locations really well. And then I don't see a ton of it anymore. And it's still around. But it actually likes it when a place gets disturbed. So what we're doing is we're altering the experience of different species of mushroom in different locations, basically. And that's okay. They go far. Their spores go far. And also we're going to help them. So this year, we're going to go out and make a special effort to move mushrooms we like old ones we're not going to eat anyway, but still have spores going on, or just even healthy ones, doesn't really matter. And then grab them all and toss them into Alicante. Or toss them to a few places, and then see if we can see any difference. Like, especially if a place isn't known for having a lot of mushrooms right now, that would be a great place to dump our favorite mushrooms. Anywhere we think that they might find a foothold. And so we're actually then helping them, basically, we're giving them human-powered transport to try out a new home. And we're not taking very many of them, it doesn't matter. We could walk out there and we could take 2,000 mushrooms in the mushroom season and move them all over the place. It would take some days or something, but really what it is, it's a thing you have to do all during the mushroom season, because of various genetic reasons, and it's just better. So we could sometimes just toss them, other times we could half bury them. I have tried this kind of thing before, just in passing while I was walking years ago. How can I be a force for mushroom propagation? And the first thing is you just take them and toss them off somewhere else. You just help them spread around. If it came from there, it might want to be also over there, the genome. The individual isn't even the mushroom, it's the mycelia below the ground, so there's no problem there. Oh my gosh. So I'm making here without a cane. This is great. And I'm even talking to the camera. I think that's black-faced dog. Black-faced dog thinks he lives here. Hey, you! Oh no, that's Sonrisa. I couldn't tell. It's behind a bush. Sonrisa's a very good dog, sort of. Sonrisa does what he wants. Geez, I have a headlamp on in the morning. Oh my God, I should have a day pack. I'm very unprepared for this trip. I got so excited I found a key. Except there might be some on the other side of this door, so I might not actually be able to get into the building this way. One time I had to go through that window, that boarded up window, with a sledgehammer, because there was somehow fucked up, bad things occurred around the organization of keys. Oh no, there's 2 locks here. Oh my God. Oh my God. My whole life's a puzzle. Doesn't fit in that one. Fits in this one. Okay, the problem is there's 2 locks. Which is not unusual here, because then I can control doors better. But my doors are so controlled that I don't get to go inside my building, which is a very excellent level of security, I guess. Hi, sweetum. Hi there. Yeah, sweetie. There's my cane. Alright, see, if I'm gonna use it, I gotta remember how to use it. And the main thing is keeping track of it. I'm finally mobile enough to lose shit better. Oh yay, I was already good at losing shit. The only other choice I am given is to try and get through this door, or find the other key for the other door, which it's really hard to find keys. So this is now locked or unlocked. See, it's been like 2 years or something that I haven't used this building at all, so I'm not really used to it. Okay, this deadbolt is not unlocked. Good, that's unlocked. And then what's the fuck is going on there? You can't close this from the inside. Remember the other day I was trying to show you a pretty flower? Well, it was kind of closed because it closed at night and it was a little late in the day. But right now, it's a nice, pleasant morning. Just getting nice and warm out. So you see these nice babies here. This is all on a cactus, right? And it just grows. We don't water it or anything. So if we learn to reproduce these well, we can turn one plant into 100 and 100 plants into 1,000 pretty quickly. Depends on the plant. Cacti grow kind of slow. This one's already been chopped off right here. We might as well just start that one now. It's the biggest stalk on there anyway. And keep planting more of it, what likes where it's at. And what we also need to do is keep making better like microclimates. That's a serious way to win long term by creating long-term stable microclimates, which means using the microclimates that are already here, obviously, because we start with some, and then looking for opportunities, lakes being an example, water flow, anything to do with that, and then slopes and just the attributes of every single meter of land, and figure out what does that area want, what is its ideal future, living near humans, living with wildlife, being highly biodiverse and with a lot of biomass. That is the kind of happy land we want. Now, it might be odd to wonder, why do I have this kind of obsession with figuring out how people can live with nature without destroying it, right? It sounds like an odd thing to say, I guess. It isn't. It's really to save us, because we destroy so many things. But if we can bring nature closer to us, I think we'll have a greater appreciation for it. Of course, food is a part of it, growing things closer. And that it depends, we have to think about zones differently. If you were to think about like the kind of ideal building I want to build. This 4-story thing built into slope that's kind of long, probably good 150 meters long. And the zone idea is very different with a building like that. Normally we don't talk about zones for skyscrapers because skyscrapers are next to other skyscrapers and there's not much living there anyway except people and rats. But a building on its own, sort of a fallen over skyscraper dug into the slope, will have very different types of zones to it. And not all of those are involved with heavy food production at all. Heavy food production requires different things than aesthetics, and the planting around the building should lean towards aesthetic, but also, you know, whenever you can, put useful plants in there, of course. That goes without saying. But, so yeah, with that kind of thing we were talking about, I don't know what the density in this building would be, like how many people live in it, because I haven't figured out, you know, square footage or meterage or whatever. But, you know, you want to make sure you have a very positive impact on all the land around you, which actually could fairly easily be done with the right design. And you'd end up with so many microclimates around it that you could support a wide diversity of plants like this cacti, you know, really like kind of cool things. These things grow great. Like that's the same one over there. Why that one's not flowering, I don't know. Plants are weird, not as weird as dogs. Here's some of our terrariums for reproducing plants. I think I just did a tour here yesterday or something. I don't remember. I don't know. I didn't know what I should be doing. I still don't today. So I'll do some chatting into the camera about the project here. And hopefully later on that can get figured out about how to be more organized about how to watch it. So, I figured it out. Entering the lodge now. Okay. Well, I've had somebody here for about a year. There's been more of their house functionally than mine. So I haven't really been the king of the house, but now I am. She even left my beer bottle where I left it. That's pretty funny. A tiny little Carta Blanca. Those are cappable bottles, by the way. Don't throw those out. They're not garbage. What you'll want to do is give them to your brewer friend. One who makes really special stuff. Not just, you know, small beers or something. But like barley wine or I can think all kinds of mead. You know, it'd be a great gift. Very small bottle. Not worth my time normally, but I think good for gifts and dense things. So here I am. Wow, this is my kitchen. Maybe I'll make myself at home. In my theoretical home. Oh, except I'm tired. Yarg. But I want something. Anything. Oh, there's some seeds here. Snow peas and chicharro. It's a similar thing. Peas. Here's a can of mixed nuts. You gotta try these if you ever come here. They're great. They're like 50s packaging. This is like, it's a Mexican thing. So anyway, try those when you get here. They're quite surprising in how good they are. So I've got this shelf of all this stuff. This was used by the person who was in here last, and she did a great job. I really appreciate that she left it clean. I tend to be on the opposite of that end of things, you know, a lot. And so I think it's impressive that she has such an organized space that she's used, and it was hard to reclaim because it was very dirty. I think she had to clean up all the shelves of batshit and stuff. So anyway, she cooked here for me for almost a year, something like that, and I was really appreciative of that. It worked out great for me, and she's just cooking for one more, and that was a good trade we were making, I guess. That's cool. Empty husks. There's garlic in here, some squash. I have that seaweed to make sushi with. we could make, that'd be fun. We could make mushroom sushi. That would be fantastic. Just found a cool cup. It's called the Retreat Corvallis. Therefore, we know who this came through. And the cool thing is, its cup thing is a carabiner. Its cup holder thing, and what do you call that? Handle. It's kind of a small cup, so it's a little wussy. It looks like it might be empty stainless steel, which might mean it insulates well. I'm not sure. It's kind of really small. But then again, if it's cold out, sometimes I just want to pour a small amount because I know that it's going to cool off too fast because it's so cold. I'm going to try this guy out. I'm going to try this out totally. Whoa. Apparently it snaps in that way too. That's very convenient. That's going in my pocket. Mason jars make awesome glasses. Super stable and big enough for me. I don't like normal size glasses because, you know, I like drink water hard, you know. But I'm a gulper, not a sipper. A big difference. So I need a lot of stuff when I want it. And oh, it was really satisfying. Excellent. Anyway, so yeah, these make great glasses. That's one thing about Bosque culture, is that people should carry around their own utensils and things. I don't know to what degree that is necessary, and most food systems are designed so that you don't have to dirty up your utensils a lot, you know. So we want to make it easy for you, but we want to figure out what this correct balance is. Like, some people should come here and they should come with a pot, or maybe we should sell them where they can go up to a place, you know, like a two-person sized, I think that, you know, enough food for two people. And then, it's the most comfortable spot in the whole Bosque. Right here, it's this easy chair. There was one point I made a rule, no one else could sit in but me. It's because there was a lot of people here at the time, and I had bought it specifically for me because I was so tired of being uncomfortable, because everything here is uncomfortable, almost, depending on your point of view. But so that rule didn't last very long because I'm a busy guy and whatever. And that was years and years and years. It was after I first got it, and then I had a bunch of people and I was overwhelmed. Just wanted to stake out some little piece of place that was mine. I got my little cup. That's cool. Excellent for a little coffee in the morning. Oh, what an amazing space. Let's look around it. Here we go. Let's give you a tour. We say tour? Yeah, let's do a real tour. Do I have to stand up for this? Nah. No, I'm not doing a full tour. I'll just do a tour from where I'm sitting on my ass. Because it's not even that late in the day, and I've been just zooming, and started it early, editing videos. I've got 2 uploads going on. Anyway, let's do the tour. Okay, this is the beginning of the Bosque Village tour from the vantage point of a guy sitting in an easy chair who doesn't want to get up at all. Not going to happen. I'm in a large building. Look, it's large. Big. We'll take a look in a sec. It is made of stone, stacked stone, kind of like jumbled stone. I don't know if there's a name for that style, and I don't know that I'd recommend it. What I will say for it is it does work, and therefore it's good. And so this building looks awesome. There's issues architecturally. I will get into those later. Let's start with how cool the building is. It has really high ceilings. And there's big skylights up there. Those are polycarbonate skylights. Polycarbonate doesn't last always. I put polycarbonate on when I got here to replace the stuff that was bad. And then it lasted for some time, but it didn't last 30 years. Or maybe, no, that's what was already here maybe. I'm not sure. But no, this stuff was new. This one eventually blew off. And yeah, that was put in 2004. Okay, so that one basically got old and blew off and then let the storm come into the house uh, a number of years back. The other couple skylights are made of polycarbonate, and there's actually holes in them you can see. Bats can probably get in through those spots. I mean, in order to fix that, we have to get up on the roof, move a bunch of tiles. Oh, it looks like we already did fix that. We might have already fixed it. I remember we did this a couple of years ago. Anyway, so big space, tall is the thing is impressive. There's not a lot of tall structures in Mexico, like interior high roofs, really high roofs. You would find the auditorium, the church. That's about it. Basketball court. But as far as interior spaces go, certainly in a home setting or a community setting, it's very impressive to have a high roof. And so I even think as far as the architecture of the Bosque goes, that might be something to shoot for in some spaces. And we could do that by having a basketball court-like thing. We could build something like the Salon de Eventos in Yotatiro. That's a basic start of an idea. That would be highly functional, and there's probably ways we could up the aesthetics on it. Although that place, it's not quite done. It takes a long time to fix things all up. But so high roofs of any kind here might be really handy. Another way to simulate, well, that's different. But yeah, monolithic domes, of course, still should be on the radar, and I almost want to give up on it because it takes, I got to go track somebody down and find out, well, who can do this, who's the closest that could do it, who has the tools. Basically I should probably write up my project proposal of what I would do. This is a great idea, actually, because I need to write up projects anyway, and I have a brilliant idea for monolithic domes and using a number of them in the same location in a different way than has been done before. That fits in with some of my other architectural thoughts. And so I think monolithic domes would be a piece in that larger vision, and a really key piece of it, actually. Okay, I got to do it this time. I got to focus and not lose my attention. I'm in my easy chair, and we're doing a tour of the lodge, okay? From my easy chair. I'm not getting up. So to my right, I have a cup that I just found that was donated. And because it's from Corvallis, the retreat in Corvallis.com, I can tell that it's a cool product, and I'm going to enjoy the cup. I may have to look that place up. Look, just because they did merch, they're getting free advertising on my channel. Well, I don't care. But, I've never liked merch much. In fact, I don't like it. I don't like merch. I like this because I kind of miss the United States, and also the person who's here was fairly nice, and, so it's a gift, I mean, it's very nice. And also I like things that are strong, really tough, This is like stainless steel, you can tell, and I think it's double walled. I could probably throw this somewhere and it wouldn't get hurt, unless I was really trying to hurt it. But anyway, that's the start of the tour is my cup. And then I'll twist around here. The door is that way. There's crap on a small table, a pair of slippers that nobody owns, but they get used sometimes by people. A really nice painting. Oh, yeah, I could have sent that back with Sherilyn. I'm not sure. I've been avoiding so many things, and art is one of them. A big hat. This hat's really big, and I bought them kind of as a joke in Harakwaro. You can buy really great hats in Harakwaro, like high quality. You can buy cheap hats. You can buy fancy hats. You can buy hats with straps. You can buy hats with bands. You can buy big hats like that. I bought it, and I thought, hey, these are funny. I'll buy 3. So I bought 3 big hats. And it's interesting that I thought they were kind of a joke. But I'll tell you, when you're walking around sometimes, that hat is such a huge shade structure around you. Like, because it's sunny here. The elevation's pretty harsh. And so, depending on how you're dressed, but, I don't wear sunscreen. I haven't worn sunscreen in, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if I've ever worn it here. I just watch out how much I'm in the sun. But the point is that this cool hat provides a lot of shade, so the back of your neck wouldn't burn if you had a haircut there, or your shoulders if you had exposed shoulders. So what's missing on this particular hat is a strap. And so I only really end up using them in really calm conditions, but usually it's calm around here. So most of the time that hat is awesome. My general rule is all hats should have straps. It's interesting. This hat, the problem is in the wind, it really goes a bit nuts. So it's just a bad hat for any wind anyway. But I think it would be worth it to. Also, last time I went to Hirakura with someone to buy a hat, she found a hat she liked. It was kind of a cool looking hat. It was nice. I don't know what kind of hat it is. It's her hat. Hats have personalities. They really affect you a lot. Of all types of fashion, the hat is probably the coolest. I mean, think of all the military hats, religious hats, goofy hats, nostalgic hats, sports hats, whatever. Anyway, but the cool thing is at the store, she found the hat she liked, and it didn't have a strap. And I've been saying for, I don't know, most last year, occasionally, that a strap on the hat's really good because when it's windy, otherwise your hat keeps blowing off. It's actually a liability and a pain in the ass. So this particular hat doesn't have a strap, but if at the store I would have asked them, they would have put it on immediately because that's what they did for her. Her hat didn't have a strap. She said, "Oh, the hat doesn't have a strap." They said, "We can put a strap on it." I said, "How long?" They said, 5 minutes. And it wasn't much more than 5 minutes. Maybe it was under 5 minutes. I have no idea. It was quick. She just pulled out a string thing and then sewed it on there, and so then and they didn't charge her more, so she got a really high quality hat. Now she paid more for that hat. I'm not going to tell the prices, but she paid more than a hat than she needed to if she just wanted a hat. But she wants a hat that's going to be her partner for a long time. I think that's how I think about it. She didn't say anything like that. I'm just projecting shit. But if you're the kind of person who needs a hat, and I'm the kind of person who needs multiple hats, not only in terms of my roles, but literally multiple hats, because sometimes it's really rainy, sometimes it's really hot, sometimes my head is cold and I need to put a hat on, and there's multiple types of hats. So the point is that she did pay more than she had to. She could have paid way more. There's fancier hats. This was a real straightforward hat, but really well built. Also, the quality of the weaving was a little bit tighter, and that results in a stronger hat that's going to last longer. I think that's my impression. I actually have straw hats laying around here in different cabanas, and they're loaners. So if people want to come here, and if they're participants, for example, and buy hats, well, currently they'd have to go to Hirakuro. It could be that I should buy a sufficient number of hats and then stock them, and then be able to sell them to people who actually want the hat. It's part of their identity while they're here. They look how they want to look, and then they leave with a nice hat. The other option is to figure out how to go on good field trips to Hirakuro, the island, X Island. It's not that far. I need to measure the hiking distance, and we could go on a city hike. And I have a good route for it. It's not that bad. It would be a hefty ass hike. You wouldn't want to do it on the hottest of days. Wouldn't want to do it on the rainiest of days. I should just measure distance and figure that out. So that's one option. I don't like it much. It leaves the group kind of not in control. It depends on the size of the group too. Generally, I don't want to go in groups of more than 4 people in a group. I like the idea of 4 people in a dedicated group to take care of each other while they're traveling and be on the same page as how to travel. And then you match people up according to their style and what they wish. You could easily send 2 groups at the same time to a place like Hirakuro. That's a lot of people in a small town, and people would definitely notice you. But that's fine. They love selling stuff. I have gotten a tour of their workshop before, one of their workshops, and I could go around and say, "Hey, I'd like to look at workshops," and I'm doing a photo essay. I don't know if they really want that sort of invasion, but I could maybe take pictures of people's workshops. A lot of people are very proud of their work, and some people are 3rd generation working on different kinds of things with lake reeds and weaving of materials all around the lake. There's just tons of crafts. And so this particular town is just crazy for making hats. You can also buy some hats from other places. So the thing is, okay, let's skip the hike idea, okay? Transport, that's a problem. Really what I need to do for the Bosque Village project to succeed is to have staff cars. There need to be vehicles here that are owned by us. Or recruit somebody who has one. Develop somehow a community member, at least one, that can drive and has a 15-passenger bus. I think that's actually maybe the goal. Maybe get away with less. I mean, you know, if I'm talking about a team of 8, why do I need a 15 passenger bus for? Uh, Maybe I need a bus like, no, my van was originally a 15 passenger van. And that wasn't too big. It's too big, really, but it's manageable. I can do it. So maybe I need exactly what I got before. It wouldn't surprise me. I've oftentimes gone through in my head why I do the things I do and ended up with the same conclusion I had before after hours of reviewing every damn detail. Thought I'd figure everything out at some point, but there's a lot of everything, you know, and I have figured out a lot of things. So over here, there's a frame, that guy. That is, maybe it's art, I don't know. If I say it is, it is. That's how it works. Uh, it was a painting there. You know, I used some art supplies that were fire, you know, and chemicals and burning shit. And I was hoping for an aesthetic effect. Before, it kind of looked like a weird dessert. And I think the actual canvas might have been ripped off there, the burn piece that might be around. But the thing is, I see these things now as art supplies. They can fit in with some other art. This object has some history. And I've had this for since 2004 was when I first painted it, or maybe 2006, I don't know. And there's pictures of me doing that with fire. And I just never could love it. Well, that's why the fire came. The fire came later. When it first painted, it looked like a dessert. A lot of pink and white. Not my favorite colors. I've only made one pink and white painting that I liked, and I gave it to my dad, so I guess his wife has it. So my stepmother or something. Nancy, real nice person. And then I've got these fiberglass things up here that I made. And these fiberglass things are actually, because I took a picture of a 4x4 painting I had in Seattle that actually someone owns now. And it's one of my favorites. I think it's called Holy Fire. And it's a really nice looking painting. And so I thought I'm going to try and get 3D versions of it. And so I had these guys carve out of MDF the painting, and they did a great job. And I said, you know, you have all this kind of artistic license, and this could go up here or down here, and you'll just have to kind of figure it out. And they did a great job, because turning a 2D thing into a 3D thing is kind of a trick, right? So then I had a mold made, a silicon mold, and then I had fiberglass put in. They ended up kind of bent, which I don't like very much. I don't like the edge bend, and that's actually why I stopped working on them. And I probably have 20 to 30 of these fiberglass type things of various styles around. And I tried painting them, but I feel like I'm painting by the numbers. I'm not feeling it, the texture I want, I think would be the word. It looks too, and often I'm fine with this on 2D, but I expect something else. I expect it to look like it was carved out of some kind of mix of alien gemstones or something. I want it to look, well, I want to look at it and have it affect me. And these, they have no effect on me at all. I think that's almost as simple as that. I mean, people talk about what is art and all this art crap and art criticism and art asshole fuckers. They're just all, you know, whatever. The thing is, does it grab you or not? And we're not all grabbed by the same thing. And so I don't even, I don't really criticize other people's art. I just say if I like it. I don't know any reason to say I don't. Everybody's art, there's art. If they're art, and if you don't like it, it's not your art. So whatever. Here's the fireplace. This is a very important thing here. This has only had one fire in it in the last year, I think, because Sherilyn's surprisingly not into fire. She's into comfort of all kinds, lots of kinds, but not all kinds. But many people like to have fire every night, all the time. And I have the materials here for it, and I have lots of firewood, and I like fires. I'm not going to make them for me. This fireplace is called a Rumsford fireplace. It is slanted at a certain angle, and once you get the fire kind of managed right, you do the right things with this fireplace, it will tend to reflect a large amount of heat out into the room, even though you don't have a roaring fire. It's quite rare when you want a roaring fire. You generally want a manageable, nice fire. In fact, we have wire things. You can put a pot of food or beans or something in there, and then it will just sit away boiling happily, but you should check on it, because people make mistakes with fire and cooking. So, but anyway, it's a heat resource for cooking and also just really for the vibe, what is there better than a fire? Goddamn fuckers. I can never tell which barks are people. I can tell usually, actually. My guess is this is not a person. It's probably a raven or something. That's one problem with this chair is they can't actually get out of it. God damn it. I thought about being shy on camera about still having problems moving, but you know, I just don't care. I mean, my life's an adventure. I share my adventure. Not all of it, but a bunch of it. You know, I'm not so shy that I can't participate in kind of, you know, budding global consciousness of figuring out what the hell's going on and what we're going to do about it. So, this is a cross. This cross was made with the same style of fiberglass thing as that, but I sprayed it with a fake stone flex stuff paint, but it doesn't really look like stone enough to me. Maybe and then I sprayed some silver on it, so my own fault. It doesn't look like stone probably. But I have a bunch of those which I need to give away. I'm not Christian. I like people in Aranga. They are Catholic mostly. I think that's fine. I'm totally fine with it. I've talked with people about it. Nobody gives a shit. But, you know, it's like, I know the code of ethics here. You know, be honest, be consistent, be nice. That's my code of ethics here. So, we were doing a tour from me in the chair, and I forgot. I think I got tired of sitting around. I'll show you this. This is better for a handheld camera anyway. This is the shrine, right? The guitar. There is so much stuff in there. Quite a shrine. Pretty messy. Certainly not the shrine of a person who puts things in places in an orderly way. Definitely not. But every object on this shelf, to varying degrees, has immense meaning for me. I tend to collect tiny mementos of different times in my life. And some things are just given to me, and they were given to me by a person I like, and therefore I like them. Some things I found in a strange place. Some things have been there just at an odd time for me. And I have another bunch of shrine type stuff over there. And one thing I'd like to do is well, in addition, I want to build my own house. I just need 2 rooms, that's it. Likely a small composting toilet. It can be small, cheap, it's nothing. I know how these things work. And sunrise. I want sunrise every day. I want a bed that I can sit in at sunrise, and I want my other room, in case I'm up and doing things, and have a desk there. I don't need hardly anything. I need a desk, a chair, a bed. I need a nightstand. 2. I like those. A window that rises to the sunrise. It can be a small room. Queen size bed minimum. But you know what? I'm a fucking kingly guy. I really am. I don't know how I could have lived better than I did. Yeah, I said some shit I shouldn't have said, and I've said sorry for various things, and that's all fine. So this didn't open up because it was deadbolted from the inside. Interesting. And so, you know, why not have a king-size bed? I think king size should be the minimum. I'm not sure California king or not. I wish that this pisses me off so much. Everything I think about pisses me off, actually. But like, okay, they've got king-size bed and California king. Both are nearly square, right? California king is a little bit longer, right? And I think it might be narrower too, which is so annoying. Like, just change one variable, but don't change any variables. A king-size bed, I'm going to say a revolutionary statement here, and maybe I just don't get it, okay? Maybe I just don't understand beds or bedding or something. I wouldn't be surprised. I barely give a shit about beds unless I'm tired or I want to do something in one. And so Anyway, king size bed should be king. No, they should be square. King size bed should be square, right? Because then you don't have to figure out the sheet out, and it's a big sheet, right? And you're trying to make the bed. I don't like to make the bed. I don't fucking make the bed. I'd rather sleep with messed up sheets half the time. I like made beds though. I should get a maid. Made beds. Maids make beds. Yeah, I could just magically things could happen. I have to get rich first. That's the only solution. I'm rich in the things I care about, you know. I guess I'm rich in playing a part with a piece of land. That's been my dream since I was a kid, to take care of a forest. And I've learned how to do it, and I'm doing it in a great place with great people occasionally. Now it's very alone because of the pandemic stuff, but I'm planning for a different future, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, we're doing a tour. I was talking about altars, right? Yeah, let's get back to the subject at hand. So my altar is a big mess. I would recommend not even going this messy. I mean, even for me, this is too messy. Also, where's my cool stick? Is it missing? That sucks. Also, my altar should be... Oh, I talked about my house. That's because I want a place to put my stuff. Because the problem is, what happens is, and I'm going to get a little bit sexist here. I can't help it. It's just my personal... In fact, it's not sexist. It's peopleist. You know? It could have been a guy, but that's not my thing. But like, you know, I've had women in my life, and they've done a couple things I don't like. You know, I've never recorded a video about women pissing me off because, you know, everybody pisses me off, and everybody's right now is on big gender kicks and stuff. And I'd rather we just be people. I haven't found. Well, I mean, I've had more trouble with women than men because I've hung out with women most of the time. It's because I like women better, and they like me a lot. Women have always liked me a lot, and I don't know why. I look at pictures of me now and I realize I was actually kind of a cutie. I was a handsome young dude, but I felt like a total dork. So I didn't know that. My mom did. She told me, but I didn't believe her. And so anyway, then, you know, I go older and now I'm just grumpy, which is not a very attractive attribute. Although I'm grumpy about smart stuff, I think. So we're talking about the house I need. That's psychologically for me because when there's people here, I get overwhelmed. So anyway, in my house, I want a spot for my altar. I don't know how I imagine that, and I don't really care. I like the idea of people having altars, and I like them having convenient ones. Like for most people, it depends on who you are. You should have a small altar, one that you could pack up into maybe even a special box that you keep for just packing it, and then you leave papers in there for wrapping objects with, and you can pack your little altar box quickly, and you can be more mobile that way. Right now, mobility is increasing for a variety of reasons, and, well, we're not mobile for some reasons, but we're going to get more mobile later because, you know, there'll be more independently located work. Well, there's other reasons we'll get less mobile. It depends on what you consider mobile. I think, you know, I mean, we're talking about the difference between like moving down the block versus moving across the country or to another country. Anyway, like how much shit you should have is your problem. But anyway, I think that everyone having an altar, I think is, well, whoever wants to, is a great idea, you know. I think that taking mementos from your life, pick up a pebble on the beach, you know. Don't steal people's shit. God. Oh, I was going to be sexist. I forgot. Oh, but that's something I'll just interject as a sexist experience I had, because I've never had a guy steal my T-shirt, but I've had women like take all of my favorite clothes, and I think maybe it was some kind of weird territorial issue. Okay, it only happened twice, and it was only bad once. But like, you know, shirts that were really cool shirts that I can't replace. You know, like my Osama bin Laden shirt I got in Guatemala with crossed AK-47s. I really liked that shirt. I got it in 2000, and then somebody later on, its disappearance correlated with theirs. So, and my rats fucking shirt, I had one with mice fucking on it. I wore that to Bumper Shoot, which is a festival in Seattle. Very fun little festival, actually. Not too bad. I didn't totally appreciate the time, but it's a really nice, pleasant space. I always had fun anyway when I went. And, you know, just nice, simple fun. I'm not a huge music consumer, so anyway, I wore the rats fucking shirt, and as people would get closer and closer to me, they would kind of become aware of what the shirt was, and then they would be surprised by it. And And I don't think I'm going to damage any kids that see the shirt, by the way. I mean, it's diagrams. Like, you really wouldn't know right away, and then it's just two mice, right? So they have Grateful Dead ones like that with skeletons fucking and all kinds of shirts like that. But I like those goofy shirts, and I don't like to lose them. I'm losing one now because it's so old, and I just wore it out. It has a wizard on the front. I've got a cool picture of me drinking a caguama, and the thing is that this wizard, I have a little bit of a belly on me, you know, and so the wizard kind of becomes more 3D. I'm helping him out with my belly. Actually, I would love to get more cool shirts here. I think about sponsorship for the Bosque, and I think about, you know, if people want to send me just really wild-ass clothes, I'll wear them as normal clothes. And I'm in a lot of videos. I don't know what I'll wear to town or not. There's a limit to my wildness. You know, if you're going to send me some assless chaps or something, I'm not going to town in those. But you know, I've seen like these shirts online that must have some weird ass 3D printing thing, but like they have a zoomy hole that goes right through the person, and just, you know, crazy stuff. And I'm a real huge fan of wild clothing. I think, you know, clothing is really boring. And two things about clothing. First of all, women's clothing needs to have pockets, okay? You got to carry your shit. And I have mixed thoughts on purses, and, you know, I like backpacks, but I understand purses, and that's cool. But women have to be functional somehow. And I think having functional clothing is super important. And this is true, of course, for men as well. Some men also buy totally crap-ass clothing at stupid materials. It rips easy, and that's just dumb. We have to buy all the clothing should be strong. You know, like, I have real visions. I have real thoughts about what is the ethics of a thing, you know? And so, you know, I think about something like the Amish, right, and how they dress. And I think I respect that they're trying to be conscious with their dress. Totally think that's awesome for them. And I respect lots of the ways that they are. But I'm going to wear a lot of colors, man. I got to wear lots of colors, and I don't have any old book laws that control me. I'm a free man. So I am a fashion god, and so whatever I wear is in fashion when I'm wearing it. You know, I don't follow any trends or anything, but I'll set some trends right now, some rules almost, of like, okay, we should buy clothing that looks really strong. You know, and there's certain companies that sell extra strong clothing. Now, do people really need extra strong clothing, or can we have some balance? Yes, we can. We don't all have to be walking around in military gear or, you know, Cargills, or I don't want to say brand names. I don't know that many brand names. Like, you know, stuff that hardcore working dudes buy, and ones that fit women, of course, too. That's the extreme end, you know, and I would like that. You know, in winter, I can use, like, I used to have one of those army pea coats, you know, with you could turn the collar up, black coat. Oh man, those are like a suit of armor. I walked around in cold places as a strange, young, angsty man wearing that. Yeah, that was my favorite coat. I gave it to a guy named Chris when I left Seattle. He was a little smaller than me, so hopefully it fit him. But it was a little tight on me, so maybe it worked out. But anyway, so going away from that, you know, how can we be comfortable but functional? And I think really, if you do have a backpack, if we have essentially backpack culture, day pack is what I mean, day pack, not backpack culture, that people have all their shit together, so they're highly functional for multiple purposes, and they're mobile within this space, right? We do have to have security. Places to put those backpacks, and I hate to say that. I hate to make conversations about security, and I don't record most of them. I'll record this one because I think it could be public knowledge. I don't care. I had an event here, and 2 backpacks were stolen. I had some students from a school I will not name, and the vast majority of the students were nice kids. And they also, like 4 to 6 of them, actually were asking questions and taking notes and shit. So this tiny percentage of the class actually gave a shit. No, it was a good percentage. Nice group. But some of them, somebody stole backpacks, and it wasn't me. That's the only person I'm sure it wasn't. And I have a whole bunch of other people that I don't think it was either. So I think it was the students, but it was sucked. Because there were volunteers here at the time, participants. And they were helping out, and the vibe was awesome. We'd had an awesome educational experience. I made a mistake. And my mistake was that I threw a party on the last night, and these are college-age people, right? And I had a guy who was a really cool guy named Nee, whose parents are missionaries in Japan, I believe, which is cool, because I have a lot of connection with missionary stuff and all that. And, you know, he's a real young guy figuring out who the hell he is, this is a great place to do that. So he said he wanted a DJ, and I said, "Are you a DJ?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm a DJ." And afterwards, he told me he'd never DJed in his life, but he did a great job. So that was awesome, and I like it when people do new things here, for the first time. So we had this dance party, and some of the college students went to town and got alcohol, and so there was more drunkenness than expected. Now, nothing bad happened in that. It was a very nice vibe. It was very pleasant. I mean, there were not bad kids in any way, except that somebody did something bad, and they took 2 of the volunteers' day packs. Now, those day packs contained iPods or something, some music thing, I guess. I never had one. And then they contained a guy's journal, a guy's travel journal of his big, young man coming of age experience in his early 20s or mid 20s, traveling the world on his own. This is a beautiful journal, probably. For him, it's especially special, but it's probably might have good stuff in it. And some student took it, and I don't know where that journal ended up, but I think about it sometimes because I'm here to protect people, and in that case, I somehow did not think of that. I didn't have security programs running in my head. And so one of the things is don't trust groups that come in. Establish a core team, and then lock this place down like a professional space for use. If we're going to have anybody from the outside come in, even a single visitor, we have to have a plan for that whole visitor's experience, how their needs are taken care of, how they feel comfortable, they get to see the space, realize this place they could learn something, and they go, they may never come back, but they can learn online, and that they really see the beauty of the project here. That should be the experience when someone visits for a short time. Somebody coming a longer time, let's do the same thing. I mean, let's do the really nice welcome and intro. Just have a beautiful day of them learning, and they might even decide to leave. Most people, once they come here, they've already learned about it, and they're pretty dedicated, and they've applied, and we've chatted, and they get accepted. But if they're coming here for longer, then the whole experience is different. And again, like I talked about the other day, there's the track of the resident one and the visitor one. A lot of times I'm just kind of thinking out loud when I rehash these ideas, because I'm combining those ideas with like everybody who's come through here and trying to figure out what track they would be on, or they would have wanted to be on. Because really, I almost have individualized tracks here with people, but if I'm going to formalize it and also have more people and not be exhausted since I'm a limited resource, then I have to have other people filling other functions in the space. And I almost think, I don't know, I don't even know what my ideal function here would be. I think I want to be the founder. If this thing works and it can function, then I want to be known as a founder. That's part of my reward, It's cool. Fuck, I can't even talk. I'm drinking brandy, but I think I'm just all hyped up. I drank some coffee at like 3 a.m. I was just like, I want something. I want to consume something. I need to consume something. And there's nothing to consume except peanuts, of which I had already consumed too many. So I went downstairs and I made a whole pot of coffee in the dark with my headlamp. Very unusual behavior. I wait till sunrise usually. And that kind of got my day started, like kick-started. So I've been going. Oh, and then I ate those coffee beans, but I didn't eat that many. We were going to finish this tour. We still on the tour? All right, let's go. No, I said it was a tour from the seat. And then I got all excited. Okay. You see that big skull up there over the thing? That's a cow skull, okay? I painted it. I painted a silvery iridescent white kind of color from Utrecht paint. It's one of the paints I like. They have a store in Seattle. Utrecht is somewhere where Dutch people live, Netherlands or Denmark, or I don't know. I get those countries confused. I've never been there. Not my fault. They're small. And then above that, and then this got used in a movie that I was in Mexico City. The painting above that was also in the movie. The entire room was painted blue. And so there was this kind of a very blue, but not monochromatic because it had subtleties of blue in it. Beautiful set, and I painted that for it. That's a cool symbol of Christian ambientalism. I play the bad guy in the movie, and in the movie I'm representing this church. I'm the evil gringo asshole, basically. But it was fun. It was very uncomfortable. Movies are a pain in the ass, and I have other thoughts about that. This painting up here, right there, see that painting? Red one with stuff on it? That painting I think is ready to go. I've been thinking about that painting I painted it probably 5 years in, maybe 9, 10 or 11 or some years ago. And I just love it. The shape of it, its simplicity and complexity is exactly right. I just need to wipe a little bat shit off of it. And then I could sell it. And this is the kind of painting that's very hard to take anywhere because it's so big. It's 4 by 4 feet. When I got here, I ordered a bunch of canvases, and I ordered them in feet. But I had some other reason for that. I don't know what it was. But I should sell that to some expats or something, or some Mexicans or somebody who will pay for it. Then there's this painting over here, up there. That's a one with some round colored circles and a mix of gray. And I've never felt completely happy with it, and I know exactly why. I know exactly what's wrong with that painting by my standards. I'm not going to tell you, because I want to tell you how to critique my art, you know. But there's things that are in the uncanny valley aesthetically. If you don't know what the uncanny valley is, it's like as robots get closer to being indistinguishable from humans, there's these weird stages that they could be developed in where they're human-like, but they're so human-like, but so not that they're very disturbing. It's the uncanny valley. And there's a lot of other areas you could apply this in where often we're comfortable in a certain way of seeing something, and then there's something, like if it's different enough, it's okay. If it's too similar, it's bad. And this might have to do with us disliking people who are like us, actually. Like if they're too like us in a few ways that trigger us kind of, then we have this emotional damage and self-interpretation. And so then that person becomes part of our weird trip. Our impression of them becomes part of our weird trip. They are not even actually involved in any real intense way, since our impressions of each other are so radically wrong so often at a time. You know, it barely matters what you think of someone. It doesn't have much to do with who they are. It has more to do with who you are. And I guess there's some trite phrases we could make about that, but I'm talking, sucking this idea in really deep and incorporating it into your way of perceiving other people. I think we have inherent problems in dealing with people, just like, there'll be two dogs that get together and sniff each other's butts, and then they're either going to fight or be friends or kind of waffle around, and that's just as really quick evaluations based on really nothing. And I would recommend against those. One of the things I've done in my life is I changed my style a lot. And I'm lucky to have a beard, because it's like a free style changer right in my face, and all I have to do is do nothing to build it. So it's really fun. And so, changing your look, your clothing, what you focus on, what you talk with people about. I don't do this in a horribly manipulative way, although I sort of see people as art supplies, and I guess they're creating me and I'm creating them. So whatever. I mean, boy, if I was just to say these things a little different, it would just sound trite as fuck. Anyway, let's continue our tour, shall we? We don't have to go on a tour of my soul. Over there on that column, there's a very small painting in the blobular style. I've noticed what I call the blobular style has become very popular on YouTube, and it's looked down on. When I was doing it, I'd never heard of it, except for Jackson Pollock. That's all I'd heard of. But I would do full paint across the canvas. I have one of my earliest paintings. It's called Internal Organs, and it's an awesome painting. It took weeks and weeks to dry, and it's made of a mix of mostly oil painting. It has some water-based in there as well, but just beautiful, strong painting. I think it's in Arizona. I hope it's being well protected. I've got another great pour painting, which was Zen Tree, and that definitely used a mix of like spray oils and then water-based paints, and ended up being this mix of black and white. It's a very tall, slender painting, which is very unusual for me. I've done a lot of square paintings. I experiment now with the silver rectangle. There's golden ratio, golden rectangle, silver ratio, silver rectangle. So I'm experimenting with that now. But anyway, back to old times. I did some that were 4 by 8 feet, which was the biggest, and then These ones, I forget what those are. I think it's 2 by 4 feet, I believe. But the scale of the canvas really matters to me. I'm still struggling with being able to paint small. It was such a pleasure to paint big. And these big ones, the thing is, I can't really ship stuff well. I don't know how to ship things. I'm really ignorant. And in that particular area, I don't want to get less ignorant. I don't want to be spending my life packaging shit. So somebody should do it if they want them or something. I don't care. But anybody but me. So, are we supposed to be looking at paintings? Right. Anyway, that painting over there, the one behind the fly strip, is a really neat one, actually. And, people have asked me a few times, like, how has moving to Mexico affected you artistically? And it's like, I'm a fucking person, not an artist. I am also an artist, but, the move to Mexico was really great, and it does affect me massively, but it's not like it affects my everything. It doesn't affect my aesthetic values. Now, in this particular case, I think it did, for some reason. I don't know what I was looking at, but this just reminds me of kind of almost like a shield. Anyway, it's not done, which is the part that sucks. That's because some of the areas around it have these reddish things coming in from the outside. I'm totally okay with the inside. I'm fine with it. It's all great. And I got to just fix up these kind of maroon colored thingies, and then it would be really great. And then I can sell it to somebody. This one back here by the door, which we didn't talk about, has the alien language on it. I put those on them. People ask me what it means. I don't know. Don't ask me. It's like, you don't go to somebody who's speaking in tongues and ask them what they're saying. And then there's one up there, that guy, and there's one over there. So we'll call this the, alien goo. We'll call this one, I don't just want to name shit on camera. That's bogus. I got to think about this crap. Alien goo's a kind of dumb name too. Oh, it's funny. And it really has a weird look. The colors are just terrible. Like, who would like that? I bet you there's somebody out there who would look at these colors. I bet you. It's a really interesting mix of colors. They got oranges and greens and yellows, and there's some purple letters on the side, alien language, And so I bet you there's someone out there who would say, oh, wow, I love that. Or however they talk, Oh, wow, I love that. How do art buyers talk? I don't know that many art buyers. I know my friends in Seattle, they bought some art. They talk like my friends. But anyway, I don't even know who art buyers are. I should probably figure that out if I want to live. But anyway, I think somebody would look at that and really think it was great. I think it's done because I've thought about things to change and I don't want to change any of it, so it's done. The other one over there is also done. It is really cool. It is more muted colors. I don't know what to name this one yet. I would name it The Tablets, maybe. Because there's like 3 blue sections with alien language in them. And then there's like almost a sea-like bunch of shapes. It's almost like tablets floating under the sea or something. But I don't want to, actually I shouldn't say those kind of things because it biases people. It's not tablets floating on the sea, okay? I'm just being like anyone else. I'm just saying, what does that look like? Because I don't paint, in many cases, an actual thing. I paint the idea of the thing. Wow, I'm painting just like that at the view. That's really weird. I don't paint things that are similar. Way up there, there's a painting. I don't know if we're going to see this one. Wow, that's a tough one, isn't it? There's a devil up there, there's a cross, and there's a cool blue painting that has a big yellow eye in it. And it's not quite done. I just feel like something's missing, and I have to be happier. Like there's 2 black blobs in the corner that I feel like need more attention. There's a white dot that I think is just a drip that I accidentally dripped and I don't like it. I want it painted out. I could jazz up some contrast in some spots and just give it another 4 to 5 hours. I think 4 to 5 hours of work. And that would be, it's almost done now, but then it would be better just fix it up somehow. And then I've got a mask over here, a devil mask, which there's pictures of people wearing. That's made out of paper mache. When we had a really great guy here named Charles, teaching us how to make paper mache masks. He also made a really big one because they make really big puppets that they have people operating the arms and stuff. It's probably some kind of parade or protest stuff, which if it's a parade, I'm into it. If it's a protest, let's all just get our guns and go out in the desert and see who comes out. I don't know. Sick of this bullshit. Constant oppression crap pervading all of society. I have a sign that says Kaizen that I had somebody paint. They did a nice job on it. It's very readable. If you paint a sign, make sure it's readable. Don't get artistic, okay? You have a function first, aesthetics second. And function should be a big number one first. Oh, I know why I got up. And it's because of the dogs. They were like warning me that there's someone here. Oh, well. Anyway, Kaizen is I don't understand it, okay? So look it up on Wikipedia. All I know is what I remember and then made up. So Kaizen is a Japanese term. I believe it is for the concept of continual self-improvement. Of course, there's many words you can use for different systems of continual self-improvement. I recommend we use them all as we wish, whatever fits with people, and not get too wrapped up that it's some kind of magic solution for everything in the world. But anyway, the reason it's called Kaizen is because there's a library back there, and one of the ways you can continually self-improve is by reading the experiences of others and not being a dumb fuck. Over here on this spot, we've got a maze. It's a finger maze, and there's a whole video just about these, and it's not actually a maze. It looks like a maze at first until you understand it's a labyrinth. And labyrinths are a special kind of maze where they're built as places you walk through in a meditative way. They're built like with rock and trails, or some of them are gardens, and they're very popular in Europe. But if you look at other places in the world, there's lots of places that come up with all kinds of spiral designs and maze-like designs and intricate patterns. I mean, people were sitting around pretty bored probably if they were successful, and they just were playing with art for fun. And if you do that for hundreds of years in our culture, if you have hundreds of years before your empire falls, hopefully you don't have an empire because you're going to fall then. But anyway, they're called labyrinths, and I want to build ones here. This one is a finger labyrinth made on canvas so that you can run your finger through the grooves, and I've done it. It's kind of neat. I did it with somebody else there. A lot of my times that could be called spiritual or something, I'm very alone. I'm not a big fan of anyone else being involved in that part of my life because of past things, Anyway, there was also a big, huge cloth one that the same person sent down. These are like donations to the Bosque, and I want to make sure participants use these too. These are not gifts for me. These are gifts for the project, I hope. I don't need I'm on my computer, walk around, I talk on the camera, I design things, I write things, I do videos. But really, like, when people come here, it gets way funner. And so her donating these things gives more toys and tools and things for people to play with and to learn from and to use in different ways. Because the other thing I like about walking the labyrinth, I've actually talked to this person. She wrote a book and stuff. I forgot her name. I'll put it in the comments. Laughing labyrinth, laughing meditation, laughing yoga, laughing labyrinth maybe. I don't know. But you can try and look her up, or I'll put her down there. I love the idea. I want to build a couple large ones here. I want to make one that's very traditionally shaped. The shape of it is locked into a certain style. And I like the one, there's different styles. I like the one with one entry and one exit. I don't want people to have to walk back on each other. That's very important to me. The finger labyrinth doesn't matter because no one else's finger is going to be going through at the same time. If there is, then something weird's going on. And other ones, though, have two entrances, and I prefer that for basically pedestrian control. If it ever got popular, if there was ever a group here of 60 people, I want them to comfortably go through it and not have blockages based on the design of the shape. So I did look that up before. I took some notes on it. I'm going to find my notes. What else about labyrinths? Building them here, I want a desert labyrinth maybe, because cacti are the kind of thing you often want to see up close, but you want to be on your trail and have them have their space because they don't play well with humans. They have these spines and stuff, and spines get infected almost always. So anyway, we could set up one big enough where there was pretty big mounds of sand. This is pretty ambitious. That like our about 2 meters rounded wide, about as big as you can get, and still kind of take care of the plants because you're going to have to weed it and things. So it's really about sizing it for the gardener rather than it is for the participants. But the participants also need a wide enough trail. Many trails that are meditative should have 2 abreast. You can walk 2 abreast. I don't know that that's required in this case. Usually it's better to give too much space rather than too little, because people, you got to have space, Space fills up. Things happen. And this could have rocks put in it, it could have a water feature. Lizards can live in there. No rattlesnakes. No rattlesnakes can be where people's feet are. Other kinds of snakes are fine. Tarantulas are lovely, but they wouldn't want to live there. It'd be too rocky. Anyway, so there's that kind of labyrinth. Then there's the idea of like a bamboo labyrinth. That'd be cool. I mean, I have timber bamboo that doesn't spread quickly, that if you planted it far enough apart, you could do this down the lake bed. This would be ideal. If you use GPS to lay out where the lines were, right? And then you use Cal to mark where all the lines are, okay? And you have very large spaces. This is a very, very, very big labyrinth. And it would be seen from space. It would be seen from Google Earth. I want you to almost be able to drive a car down between the bamboo things. And that's because of my fear that the bamboo will slowly spread. Now, the truth is it's very manageable. And bamboo is an awesome resource. And so you could harvest out of it every year lots of bamboo. You could continually be cutting large, strong, lightweight building materials that are very popular in China, and you could just be cutting them out of that big, cool art thing on the lake that brings in tourists. Yeah, really. It's not even that hard to plant. Truth is, you need patience to do it the way I do it, but it would be a lot of line. A labyrinth has a lot of line and path. That's what it's made out of. And so, maybe you plan for your bamboo to be meter and a half wide, and then you plan for a car width among the walking spaces. You could actually then sit down and map that out and calculate. You just go across and put numbers on it, and you could calculate how many meters or feet wide this thing is. And that would be a pretty amazing art project, all done by nature with some planting help from people. I don't have enough bamboo currently, timber bamboo, to even do that. It's very dry where I'm at, so my bamboo grows like at a snail's pace. Have we finished our tour? No. Over in the corner is a saw on a stick with a cutting thing that has a rope so you can prune stuff. It's a farmy tool. Why is it in here? Oh, we killed a bat with it. Hate to say it. Hate killing bats. But I'm trying to win back the building. And Sherilyn made progress at re-civilizing this space. But having flying shit things around over you while you're sleeping is bad. So there's a crown on the wall. A crown is just a prop. We should use that. I have some prop stuff in the studio. I think that's one thing I could do for photographers and documentarians here is have a list of props for checkout. Quite serious. Somebody has to be prop master. And those props are all stored in one place. And then they get checked out, deposit gets left, and then they come back. Or, depending on the prop, maybe the prop master, if it's a fancy prop, goes with them to wherever they're filming. If it's a fog machine, do we check it out or do we just have someone go and run it for them? Maybe you have somebody who's the prop master know the best way to use a lot of types of props. So that's a thought. It's really weird thinking about this place as a production facility, Yeah. So the devil picture up there is supposed to be me. Apparently a friend of mine painted it. She has mixed thoughts on me. And old advertisement for pizza on the wall for no reason. Stack of old books like phone books to make a fire with. Oh man, this chair again. All right, well, I got other shit to do, so I'll see you in a bit.